Carman, who is an icon of the Christian music industry. He's sold over 10 million albums.
Tell it, Matt. 15
gold and platinum albums, and of course, fantastic hair. Carman is on with us now. Welcome, sir.
Wow, that's the first time anyone's ever mentioned my hair.
Really? I'm shocked. Every time I see an album cover of yours, I'm always blown away on how great it looks.
Well, I think we're also a little jealous, Carman, because we don't really have any.
Yeah, we're both bald.
It's not all it's cracked up to be.
A lot of extra work.
You have sung every style of music I think known to man. You've got the hip hop. You've got country. You've done regular pop. You've done the rock. I'm just kind of curious. This is kind of a twofold question for you. Out of those type of genres, even the spoken word aspect, I mean, you're so great at that. What's your favorite? And the second one, have you ever tried the Trollolololos?
I'm not sure what a Trollolo is.
Oh, well, let me hold on. Let me show you what the Trollolo is. This would be it right here.
Send me that tape. I want to try that.
It could be on the next album.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. No, what's your favorite style?
It's probably in somewhere's in there. I have to go look through my repertoire.
No, what was your favorite style? What's been your favorite style?
You know what? I've never really sung my favorite style, really, except for maybe the closest would be maybe on the hymns record. Because I grew up in the Sinatra, Dean Martin, Tony Bennett, Perry Como era as an Italian growing up in New Jersey. That's what we listened to in our house, and that's who all of us Italian kids wanted to be. So I guess I was versatile enough. And then you always have to find your own niche as well, which is always a challenge.
What's God been doing in your life, or is there any maybe like a scripture that you've been holding on to so far?
Well, strangely so. For me, it's more about what does He really want me to do? What's next? How am I supposed to prepare? What is what is He expecting of me? How should I be thinking these days? So my thing is, I just want to be in God's will wherever it is. As a matter of fact, I really didn't think much. When they told me that I had cancer, it really didn't shake me up that much, to tell you the truth. I'm a guy that goes about doing what I do because I want to be in God's purposes and plan. And whatever His plan is, whether I live or whether I die, whether I win or whether I lose, that's up to Him. I just got to be available. He says go and I go. Like when I was out and doing love offerings, I didn't think about the money because if I win or if I failed, that was really His call. I could just make myself available. Like a soldier. A soldier goes off to battle. Doesn't know if he's going to come back. Doesn't know how long he's going to live. But his evaluation of as being a soldier is based off of can he follow orders.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
Is he willing to die for his country? And so I just want to do whatever the Lord wants me to do. And I hadn't really recorded anything or toured for 13 years. So I just figured it was over. I just figured it was just time to cash in and prepare for to wrap up my affairs and go be with the Lord.
Well,
that's kind of the way I was thinking.
And you started the Kickstarter campaign, which just kind of flew off the handle so fast. You got to trying to get a brand new album going, and it's been successful. Kickstarter campaign, praise God.
Yeah, I didn't plan on that. That was a surprise because I got a phone call from an attorney in Nashville, and I hadn't talked to him in like 20 years. And he was just calling just to see how I was doing. Hadn't talked for a long time. And he happened to mention, he says, you ought to go and look at all the people responding, which I was shocked. I thought I'd get 300 responses, and I got 18,000 responses. So I was like, I'm like, where are these people coming from? Because I didn't think anybody remembered who I was or what I did. because I wasn't getting any invitations to go anywhere, or I wasn't getting invited to Christian festivals or music nights or anything like that. So I was like completely, from a bygone era. I would go to churches and they don't know who I am. Their youth groups don't know who I am. So you figure it's over, and it's been over for a long time. And so I was ready. I'm ready to check out. And he says, you ought to record again. I said, I can't, because there's no record company that would touch me for 13 years. And he says, well, maybe if we circumvented the record companies and went to the people. He says, there's this thing called Kickstarter, and they go, if the people want it, and then they give and they support it. I'm like, well, I'll give it a shot. I mean, it's not like I got something else to do. So we put it out there, and boy, people started to give, and I was like, wow, man, I guess I'm back in the recording business. This is strange. I don't know. So I'm having to readjust my thinking to think like, well, geez, I guess I got to go back out there and write some new songs, and I haven't written songs for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So
how far are you into the process right now?
Well, I have a pretty solid idea. I mean, it doesn't take long to come up with songs because you think of things you want to say, and then you got those melodies. They have to come to you somehow. I mean, you can't just sit down and make them up out of thin air. Somehow there has to be some inspiration to them. And so if it's the Lord, then he's have to give me some songs and some melodies, which I believe he has given me melodies and given me ideas for songs. Now I have to finish them, but a lot of the finishing process depends on who's going to produce, because different producers produce differently. They have different sound to them. Like the guy who produced my hymns record will make me want to write songs in a particular way, as opposed to the guy who produced the Champion record or the guy who produced Mission 316. They're all different types, sounds and records and themes.
Right.
So it depends on who's going to produce it. So we're in the process of picking the producer now.
Okay, and so when that process has kind of moved along, you'll have maybe a better idea of what direction it's going musically.
Yeah, I mean the one thing it has to sound current.
Yeah.
It's a rough thing for an artist like myself, or anybody else that's been out there for 30 years.
Sure.
Because you want to be current, yet you want it to sound like it's still you, not like you're trying to be somebody else.
Yeah.
So it's like, how would I have written songs back then, but how can I update those songs, but still make it sound like it's a Carman record, but it's a Carman record for 2013,
I think you're the guy who kind of came up with spoken word, and that's kind of current right now, so...
Oh, really? I didn't even... Who else is doing it? Because I haven't heard.
There's a whole kind of movement, even in the Christian... It's a lot of the Christian hip-hop guys have been doing it, but especially through YouTube, just these series of videos, all spoken word.
Yeah,
we've watched them, and we're thinking, you know what? Carman was doing this 20 years ago.
And we could be your producer. It's not going to be that hard. We got it nailed for you.
It's a funny thing, because I haven't seen it, and I'd be interested to see it, because it's something that I didn't have anything to compare it to. It was just an idea that I had of combining in several different styles. There's a narrative, and then there's it's almost like a rap music. I started really doing it I wrote my first rap song in 1980, and before there was rap anywhere. And so I was always about putting syncopated lyrics to a music bed. And then we just started advancing, and then I would listen to artists like Jerry Reed was my favorite.
Oh, wow.
So I would listen to him. He would tell his stories. He would talk his verses and then sing his choruses. I was like, it's fascinating, because he sounds like nobody else. When I was a kid, I used to listen to songs like Monster Mash,
Oh, sure.
And he would talk his way through the verses and then sing the choruses.
Gary S.
So
Paxton.
when I started writing my own thing, a couple of the songs, I would try to talk the verses and sing the chorus, because I started in acting primarily. I was a theater. I studied theater. I didn't study music. I studied theater. And so I would always try to do something where I would have to act it out and act out the part and change my voice and dialect and do things like that. So, and I guess it caught on because nobody was doing it. and I didn't have anything to measure it against except some of those old songs.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to,
you know,
we'll have to chat with you a little bit as we conclude. We could give you a few examples. I think you might enjoy. Well, we've been chatting with Carman, a legacy in Christian music. It has been an honor to talk with you, Carman. I wondered if we could have you do, if you'd humor us to do one thing before we wrap up, and it's simply, you know, there's a lot of people out there that are right now facing loss or sickness, just whatever, various kinds of despair, and I thought that last stanza from the song The Champion, you know, proclaim the news in every tongue through endless ages and beyond, if you'd be willing to share it with those people that might be facing those things.
Oh, wow, man, I got to remember it.
Dude, I put you on the spot.
I haven't done it for so long. They proclaim the news in every tongue through endless ages and beyond. Let it be voiced from mountains, loud and strong. Captivity has been set free. Salvation bought for you and me, because Satan is defeated and Jesus is the champion.
Yes.
There it is.
I love it.
There it is.
Strong and champion, strong. I forgot I rhymed those two words. I was like, oh, wow.
Well, you can find Carman on Facebook. You can find it at the website, carmantv.com. Again, it's been a real honor for us. Even if others forgot, we certainly have never forgotten Carman.
No.
And
thank you.
We are very excited, looking forward to the tour and to the new music. Thank you so much for being here.
You guys sound like me when I used to talk about the Lone Ranger. It's like, I remember that show. The guy with the mask and the white hat. I know it's not on TV anymore, but I remember it.
That's because we grew up with Yo Kids, man.
One of Christian music's most popular concerts ever, but he hasn't toured in years. Now he's back with a new album and a new tour, and the tour kicks off right here in Tallahassee, May 29th. I'm talking about Carman. The world is breaking forth in a revival! Carman, back on tour, online at itickets.com.
And Jesus is the champion!
Get your tickets now.